to fight. We'll be watching very closely to see how far he has come back physically, to see if he can compete at the world-class level again. But, hey, it's a victory either way. First bout of the night. We're ready to go ringside to Barry Tompkins and Steve Farhood. Guys.
Thanks very much, Brian, and what a story this story is of this young man. And he told us yesterday he really didn't know how he was going to feel making this ring walk. Looks like he feels pretty good, pretty confident.
Exactly right. The first fight for Danny Jacobs is controlling his emotions. And the second fight is the actual fight, which, let's not forget, he's in a prize fight tonight. He does not win automatically because he stepped through the ropes.
Well, and that's true, even though, as Brian Kenny mentioned, he's already won the biggest battle of his life. He fights a guy who's only had one loss. He's 13-1 with 9 knockouts along the way. I suppose there's some question as to the caliber of competition that Josh Luterman has had, but when we talk to him, this is a very confident guy as well.
Very much so. Interesting guy. He's been an actor in Hollywood more than he's been a fighter. His nickname, the Existential Outlaw.
I like it.
And the record of 13-1, a little bit flattering.
He says he got the nickname from Kerouac and Sartre. You know those guys, right? I think they own a delicatessen here in Brooklyn. Here are the numbers.
Well, Danny Jacobs, interesting that he chose to come in at 161 after 19 months off. You might have thought he'd come in a little heavier, but clearly he's been training for a long time for this fight. And the fact that he's only a pound over the middleweight limit is very impressive to me.
Let's talk about the rules before we get started.
And the rules here are the unified rules. No 3 knockdown, no standing. A ref or doctor can stop the fight, and I think we're ready to go.
All right, with that, we are ready to go to our first fight of the evening. Danny Jacobs and Josh Luterman. And for the introductions, we go to the center of the ring and Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and welcome to Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, for Extreme and a big night of action brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions. And we are sponsored by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, DeWalt Tools and their new 20-volt max brushless technology. They are guaranteed tough. And AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Presenting our judges scoring this bout from ringside, all from the state of New York, John McKay, Carlos Ortiz, and Robin Taylor. Introducing our third man of the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, Eddie Cotton. All right, fans, here we go. 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in a middleweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my left, he is fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, fighting out of Hollywood, California, by way of Blue Springs, Missouri. He weighed in at 161 3/4 pounds, with a record of 13 wins and 1 loss. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. They call him the Existential Outlaw. Introducing Josh Luterman. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, this 8-round attraction, wearing black trunks with white trim, fighting out of and representing Brooklyn, New York. He weighed in at 161 1/4 pounds, with a record of 22 wins, 1 loss. He has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former world title challenger, tonight making his heroic return to the ring, introducing the Golden Child, Daniel Jacobs. Once again, a referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Eddie Cotton.
Let's go. All right, boxers, you've already received my instructions. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. All right, let's touch gloves. Okay.
And with that, we are ready to go with our first fight of the evening. And Danny Jacobs told us yesterday, you asked him, have you been looking forward to this fight? What have you been doing? He said, every time I walk by a mirror, I shadow box. That's how anxious I am to get in the ring.
I don't think for all the years and all the fights we've done, Barry, I don't think I've ever done a fight quite like this, with the backstory.
Now, Josh Luderin, on the other hand, still feels this is a fight. He obviously feels very proud, as we all do, of Danny Jacobs getting back. But now it's his business to beat him. He says he wants to crowd him, get on top of him, and stay on top of him.
Yeah, Luderin is aggressive by nature. Of course, that's not surprising that nice left hook. Danny Jacobs would want an aggressive fighter because Danny can't be sure his legs are going to be 100%. That's been the last thing to come around since his cancer treatment.
And he said he really wouldn't know until he got into the ring. He said you can't always tell in the gym. He was told, he said he remembered laying in a hospital bed on May 18th of last year, being told you will never box again. He did believe it then, and here he is. Good right hand right there.
Danny Jacobs was at one point considered about as good a prospect as there was in all of America because of his hand speed, because of his boxing ability. He can punch to the head and the body, and he's got a great amateur.
And then Herman with the left hand dropped him. And it's over just like that. A triumphant return for Danny Jacobs. Up much better than that. They will still tend to Josh Luderin. He was moving, however, but they'll keep him down as a precaution. Right hand started it, the left hand finished it.
And it's safe to say Danny Jacobs hasn't lost his hand speed because that combination came in a hurry.
It's funny, I was just about to say how heavy-handed he was when he showed you.
And you see Luderin's eyes are glassy. I mentioned before he's been a Hollywood actor. He certainly came here cast in a certain way. And Danny Jacobs concerned with the condition of his opponent.
Yeah. Let's take another look at this, Steve.
Well, Danny Jacobs set everything up. He pounded to the body just before. There's a right hand that comes just over the guard, and then a right uppercut as the final punch. And the reason Luderin's eyes look like they do, his head hit the canvas quite heavily. Watch the three-punch combination, and there's the third punch, that right uppercut, and Luderin out before he hits the canvas. Beautiful combination. You might think that Danny Jacobs would tend to load up, maybe look for one shot against an overmatched opponent, but he didn't. He punched in combination. That's a chilling result.
Yeah, absolutely. Take one more look in super slow motion.
Well, Danny Jacobs adjusted the plane of his punches because Luderin came in ducking at the waist, and Jacobs just caught him perfectly. 113. And there really wasn't any need for a count.